What is good? MoneyPot podcast back. We got the boys with us. We got Renzo. B Diddy is somewhere. We're gonna find out where. Ben Simmons for BROGDON? Not a good go. Let's go.
That's my baby.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
And we are live. Moss Money here for MoneyPot Podcast. We're back for another episode. We're talking NBA Finals. We're talking future bet strategies. And why was this Ben Simmons trade so bad, man? I got my boys with me. I got Renzo with a Benzo. What's up, boy? Going in and out. And we got B Diddy somewhere. I see glass walls. I see sunshine. What is good, man? First, before Renzo, I know I hit you up, but damn, B, where you at, dog? Like, me and Renzo in the old cribs with the old cabinets in the back, and I see sunshine and glass doors. Where you at?
Yeah.
What's up, man? Where you at, bro?
I'm at my second home, man. Nah, I'm out here vacating in Cabo, man. It's beautiful out here.
Can we get a 360?
Beautiful scene.
Quick tour.
Oh yeah, you want to see that?
We talking money. We talking
well,
back.
you can see in the glass what it looked like in the glass.
Come on.
All right. But
Come on. Why the money team ain't there with
you? The ocean sea. That's what I'm looking at.
That's what you looking at. Talking money. We talking back.
It makes these easier, right? We keep doing this, we make it easier.
Right. So I want to wake up like that and do my job like this.
For sure.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you jumping on, man. Renzo, man, what's up, man? What's good, boy? You on mute, Dottie.
What's up with it, fellas? You already know.
What's good,
man? Week, another dollar.
Yeah, man. For sure.
Can you hear me?
For sure. Yeah, I got you. You good. You good, man. You good.
What time is it over there,
yeah. So good, man.
It's
Just chilling another week, another dollar.
I hear that, man. So we are on live. Just want to get right into it, man. We're going to get into the poll question here quickly. And then, but first, as always, man, we want to talk about this membership money team membership plays that we're doing. $9.99, like I said, man, not weekly, not bi-weekly. It's $9.99 a month. Get on, jump on. The link is right there. Click it. You pay more for a cup of coffee in a week for this membership, man. Jump on. We've been having a hell of a time. And just to recap that, yesterday was a tough day. The White Sox hurt us pretty bad. I think they gave up 4 in like the 5th inning to Detroit, which is just crazy, but it is what it is. So we had a kind of a tough day yesterday, but we'll bounce back today. No worries. We're up for the month, right? We can absorb these hits because we've been so far ahead in the month. And just speaking of that, what did I tell y'all about the Bucks? I've been talking about the Bucks. I've been talking about the Bucks for weeks and months at a time. Now we're in our position to hedge, right? Now we're in our lovely position to hedge. Like I tell the membership team in the group chat, the guys, we all talking the same stuff. When you see my face, we talking guaranteed money. And that's what we're just doing. I had the Bucks at plus 800. I put 2 dimes, put 2 units on it. You know what I mean? Now we're at plus 16. Now I'm in a beautiful spot to hedge. with the Suns. And there's a lot of things you can do here. I'm not sure how good Giannis is going to be for this. I think it's, they were saving him, obviously, probably for game 7 where he's going to be limited. But he's coming in at probably 85, 80, 75%. Who knows how bad that leg was.
For sure.
So, there's some things with the Suns that we can look at once we start talking about the previews and predictions of the NBA finals that we can really talk about, even with, MVP odds that look kind of good. So let me just go around the table real quick, man. Renzo, man, how you do this weekend on the bets? Anything was a clear win? How'd you do?
Yeah, man. I did okay. I ain't go too heavy this week. I ended up taking the Bucks yesterday, kind of on a personal bet with like two, three different people, just with the
Right, right,
points.
right.
So it's a few bets at 100. I just really liked the Bucks yesterday. The line without having Giannis and Trae Young being back, even though he was limited, for the line only be 3.5 in a must-win game in Atlanta without Giannis. I thought that line
Right.
should be like 5.5 Atlanta or 6 even. So when it was at 3, I guess it was. To me, it was just like the Vegas saying the game's going to be closer than where I think it should have been.
Yep.
So I just ended up taking a few bets on that, so it worked out.
Nice, nice.
So it
B
was good.
Diddy, I know you were out there. I know you were out. Getting ready for your Cabo trip and everything. But you put anything on the plane on the flight? You see anything out there?
Yeah, yeah. Well, early this week, just a couple of things. I was doing a lot of player props, hitting on some player props. On the wrong side of a few baseball plays. Obviously, not everything was going well as far as baseball, but and then I kind of was getting ready for the Cabo trip, and now I'm getting used to being 3 hours, behind or ahead, whatever it is, wherever I'm at, or
Yeah, I think
two
you're
hours,
behind.
and so I'm catching games late, like my soccer plays that I'll be jumping on.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
was
would
going
have
to ask
had
you about the
England,
soccer plays.
but
What's up?
yeah, but I missed the England play, and next thing you know, they're winning four. And it's always the ones that you miss, right? That
Yeah, of
just
course.
just blew through the wall. Everything else is going to the wire or not making it. So I've been kind of really slow this week just because of the transition of where I'm at right now. Um, but that's kind of where I am. I did for the Bucks too. But once again, games start here at 6:30. It was you're in the midst of doing something or something else. So
Right, right,
that's kind of where
right.
I'm at right now.
I hear that. I hear that. So I see people in the chat, man, going to the poll question. So we'll go right to it, with the poll question, man. So I believe it was earlier this week. Um, there was a trade that was supposedly put out there and sent to the Sixers. So it was Ben Simmons for Brogdon, and I believe it's the 13th pick of the draft, if I'm not mistaken. I got to double check where they sit. The Pacers sit. Renzo, man, I'm gonna go to you, man. Agree to disagree to this poll, man. Was this a good trade? Was this fair value for what we know Ben Simmons is? And if not, if you disagree to the poll,
Nah.
if you disagree to the poll, what is a fair trade? Like what's fair value for Ben?
So no, I wouldn't have pulled this trade either. Ultimately, if I look at Malcolm Brogdon, obviously he's gotten better every year in his career. I like him. I think he's a good player, but in no way do I feel he's a franchise difference player. I don't think if we put him on the Sixers, if we swapped him and Ben Simmons this year on the Sixers, we still lose to the. I think we're still in the same position. We're not then a championship team because of Michael Brogdon. So I'm good on that. I think ultimately I'm looking to trade Ben Simmons to get us over the hill, right? To get us into the finals because ultimately we're a second round second round Eastern Conference type team with him, right? So ultimately I can't trade him for somebody like that because I think there's just more potential out there for Ben Simmons because he's still going to have the cliche. He's still going to have some sort of executive somewhere that believes in him or think that they can fix the wrong. So I just think that there's more opportunity out there. I'm at least not taking that trade right here, right now. First thing at bat, I'm not taking Malcolm Brogdon. Maybe 10 trade offers later, and this is the best I can do, then maybe let's talk. But right
Right.
now, first at bat, I can't pull that trigger right there because the potential just can I get Dame Lillard? I know we're gonna get into that. Can I make some sort of crazy package
Oh
for Dame
God.
Lillard? But I need Ben Simmons. I don't know. Like it's just
It's
all
gonna
out of
take
those things
so
that
much to
I
get
think I'll
Dame,
do.
bro. It's gonna take everything we got to get
I'm
Dame
willing.
outside of Embiid.
I'm willing to pay that.
You willing to pay that? Mm.
I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to pay anything but Embiid
Look at Brent.
for Dame Lillard.
Go ahead, Brent. What you got for me, man?
Listen, man, y'all ain't gonna ruin this vibe right here, bro.
uh,
With this
uh,
with this Ben Simmons bullshit. This shit out here is beautiful. Y'all
yeah.
ain't gonna ruin this for me
I was
talking
about to
about
say you
Ben
soaking it
Simmons
all in as we
and
talk about
and
Ben
and
again.
Malcolm Brogdon and a 13th pick is below a Ben Simmons quality. Have y'all seen Ben Simmons the last 30 days? You see what was laid out for every exec. We have no leverage. Zero. Zero. The Philadelphia 76ers have zero leverage when it comes to Ben Simmons. Don't tell me what he could be, what he's supposed to be.
We
If he
know
was
what
going
he
to be
is,
that
too.
way, exactly. If we thought he's going to be able to be that way, we won't talk about trading him. We're talking about trading him because he's not gotten better. And you said it, Chris, since he stepped in the league. And he's hurting the franchise. So if I'm another exec somewhere out on the board, I'm giving you pennies on a dollar. And if you don't want it, then fuck you at the end of the day.
Man.
And that's what it comes down to. So Malcolm Brogdon, although he has a history of injuries,
Yeah.
which would be one of those things, he's still an 18 to 25 point bucket. And you're gonna get the 13th pick.
You pressing that top end. You pressing the top end for him. He's not 25. He's 20.
Malcolm Brogdon can't get you 25.
He's a good 20.
I mean,
But see,
I don't know what
what he
he
can give you is
25,
25.
though, right?
He can give you 25, but I'm talking about consistently throughout the year. You're basically getting an 18 to 20 point per game score.
But what do
That's what
you?
he's going
But
to give
what
you.
do
If you
you?
have him on
So
your team.
my question is here is that what do you think Ben Simmons? So for instance, of course Dame Lillard is who everybody wants, right? I think everybody wants Dame Lillard. Ben Simmons is going to be a very minuscule piece of that trade. Like it is what it is. We're going to have to give up much more than just Ben Simmons.
So what I've seen is Thibault, Ben, Maxey, and either a pick or two.
That right there is our future. Those are two future pieces.
That's gone.
Yeah, Maxey,
That's gone.
And I don't mind. I told Nate earlier. I said I will give whatever it takes to get Dame Lillard.
Maxey. Right.
I would give that. I would give everything up
Thibault,
for
Simmons,
Dame
and a
Lillard.
pick for Dame Lillard.
Number one pick,
Yeah.
2 pick, 3 pick.
That's
I
not
would give
even
it
a
all for
question.
Dame Lillard. I'm okay with that.
Give
And
it
I'm
all
with
up.
you too, though, Chris. Like, yeah, I'm not jumping at the first carrot that somebody's offering, but I also don't think that trade is actually below the quality. I was reading the comments. I'm like, bro, Ben Simmons, 1, cannot make a free throw. 2, in clutch moments, he disappears. 3, he can't play in the fourth quarter because he's a hazard to your team. 5, it just seems like he doesn't even care about playing basketball. In the same time, he just finished up this $18 million mansion in California. So the brother don't even want to be here. It's like, yo, man, listen, God bless Ben. He done made it. I'm sure he's seeing much better views than I'm seeing right now. My view is amazing. So,
Give the people that one more view, bro. Give it one more view. It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's insane. This is what I'm looking at. Y'all want to stress me out about Ben Simmons.
Hey, I promise you, we're gonna run the tape. We all gonna be right there doing this show.
Matter of fact,
believe it.
Ben Simmons probably out here. Ben Simmons probably out here right now. And if I see Ben out here, I'm hitting my man, Dave Fortune, crumb bum.
Crumb bum.
You know what I mean? Crumb bum. I hope I see Ben out here.
You ain't gonna see Ben out there.
He might. Cabo, that's the hop, skip, and Cali.
Yeah, you know what? I actually agreed to the poll too. I thought it was actually a decent trade, in my opinion. I didn't think that it was. I thought we got back something. We got the scoring we wanted. We got a legit point guard. The injury history is a concern, but I don't think that the fact that we didn't have to give up a lot of the other pieces, like I almost feel that we would be. I would think Maxey would take another step forward. I would think Thibault would take another step forward, right? Then you have your pick and roll is completely different with him running at the point, with Brogdon running at the point.
Yep.
So I really like this trade, and then keeping the core around. I don't think you lose that much with Ben. You lose size, you lose the ability for Ben to defend multiple players, but Thibault can with that trade with Dame, you got Maxey, Thibault, Simmons. You lose all your wing defenders. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no depth. Like Danny Green, he's serviceable, but we saw him get cooked by Young, so he's only serviceable for so much. You know what I mean? But you bring Brogdon in, and then you got another draft pick where you keep funneling kind of like your farm system in behind. I think that's a good. I thought that was a pretty decent trade. I would have liked maybe a little bit more, maybe another player in there, or maybe another pick, maybe another future pick, 2022 pick in there, might have protected. But I like that pick, man. I thought that was a pretty good trade. I ain't gonna hold you.
And I guess we got to find out why they rejected it, right? Why did the league reject it?
Well, I think they rejected it because they feel Ben is a generational player, and that just like I think like like Renzo said, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. It wasn't enough of a package for Ben, but then we're going to give up not only Ben but almost the future to get Dame, and then how long do we have Dame for? With that Dame, Embiid, and Tobias run. Is that enough to stop a healthy Brooklyn team? You know what I mean? Because to me, Brooklyn's coming out for everything next year.
I told you
Brooklyn
our
is
gap
coming
was
back
this year.
for everything next year because they
For
felt they
sure.
were right there.
They're gonna get more pieces, more solid pieces around them.
More veterans going to run to
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
our window is now pretty much closed. Milwaukee's probably gonna be better, depending on what they do, because I'm sure they're gonna lose. All right, so it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough.
Man. So let's talk about that,
Uphill.
man. Let's talk about Milwaukee. Let's talk about the NBA Finals. Like I said early in the show, if y'all just jumping on, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, man. Like I said before, tell a friend to tell a motherfucking friend. I've been claiming hard on this show on Wednesdays with Tom and the boys for weeks and weeks to get your future bets on the Bucks to make to win the whole NBA Finals. And I said it before, and I said it again, man. When you see my face, you're talking guaranteed money. So now we're in a beautiful hedge position. Talk. What?
Don't forget
your Suns.
I done talked about the Suns too. Can we
Can
we throw that out there too?
Yeah, for sure.
From playoff one. Okay.
From playoff one.
So the
you was on the Suns and I was on the Bucks.
We was winning on both sides.
For
That's
sure.
True. Yep.
For sure. I'm not gonna take that away from you, bro. I got you. So right now, the Suns are favorite at -175. The Bucks are at +140 to win the NBA Final championship. So knowing that that we were at +800, I put two units on it, which is $200 for those who don't know. So that means I have $1,600 worth of liability on the Bucks to win the whole thing. And so for me to hedge this, and help me out with my math, y'all. For me to hedge this, it's almost 2-1 for the Suns to win. Right? Mm-hmm. So that means, it's almost like putting $1,000 down to win 500. Right? So how much liability do I and people listening, this is how we talk when we talk bets. You use it as an investment strategy. You use it in a way that, like, I'm teaching you stocks. How much risk liability can I put down on a -175 for the Suns? Now, the hedge should have been happened before, right? Because you knew that there was 2 games left in the Eastern Conference Finals. So you had to feel that Milwaukee was going to get one, whether it was, obviously last night or back home in Milwaukee. And you just place your money right there. If you lost and the Hawks somehow ran off, that would have been, 3 in a row? I think 2 in a row.
Right.
In another Game 7 win on the road, hey, kudos to them. But at the same time, that wasn't when it was plus EV. I think it was probably like plus 120, 130 for the Suns to win. Now it's obviously looking like the Suns are becoming a runaway favorite, -175. More like you got to put $1,000 down to win 5. So is that where your hedge stops, or do you keep going to maximize your profit? Because remember, I have plus 1,600 on the Bucks, so that means if the Bucks win, obviously I'm only winning 600 because I put $1,000 on the hedge. B Diddy, you're a big hedge guy, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, in this situation, if you haven't hedged yet, then you're probably in trouble. Bucks aren't winning this NBA Finals, so I would just try to get as much money on the Suns right now as possible, because the Bucks aren't going to win. That would have hurt Giannis. Suns, I think, are destined at the moment. They're the best team in basketball as of now. Obviously, there's only 2 teams left. They play well together. They got a general at the point guard position that controls the game. And I think that's key to winning a finals, is having those type of players. And I feel as though 2 up and down to win in this. Oh, look. to win in this 7-game series. So I would just go and put my money in on the Suns and figure it out that way.
All right.
For me, it's no hedge. If I didn't get the Suns early in that series,
Yeah.
The last series they were in, where I could get on the plus side, then at this point at -2, almost 2-1. I mean, like you say, you got to put 1,000 to win 5. I believe the Suns will win this finals. I believe they win in 5. And there's actually, I think there's a tweet going around that a guy back in 2016, I think I just read, had predicted that the Suns versus the Bucks in the NBA Finals, and the Bucks actually wins in Game 7 on some Simpson type shit, which is pretty crazy in 2016. What the hell?
Shit.
Yeah, but how the hell would you pick up the Suns and the Bucks in 2016?
Yo, man, there'd be some time travelers. I really believe that.
2021 would be the finals.
Yeah.
I agree. I just don't believe in this outcome.
Renzo, man, I'll go right to you, man.
Bucks,
how would you play with this one with the hedge opportunity here? So for me, I'm on the Bucks. Obviously, I was been on the Bucks for a while. I got it at +16. I got it at +800, 8-1 at the time. I put 200 on it. We had +1,600 for the Bucks to win it all. Suns right now -175 to win it all. You know, how would you attack this? You know, this kind of risk liability right now.
So you got, if the Bucks win, you win 1,600, and you have 400 at risk.
A 200 at risk.
What's the numbers again?
It was 200 at risk.
You only got 200 at risk.
So I got it at 8-1. And we talked about it.
So
we talked about it a couple times. The Bucks ain't a bad play.
Yep. So you got the Bucks. So if the Bucks win, you win 1,600. If they lose, you lose $200. And the Suns right now are -175. So it's basically 2-1.
Yeah, pretty much 2-1. That's how I look at it.
So if you bet,
I think the $1,000 is the only play.
If you bet 500, you win 250. You break even. So you got to basically bet 500 to break even. So you can.
It's 1,000.
So that means now. So now it's 1,000, right?
Yeah, I think I was right the first time. Yeah, you have to hedge it. You have to bet 1,000 on the Suns to win like 5 or maybe close to 6, like 580 or 570, because that little bit of juice is actually -120, 175. So to hedge it,
well, that's your hedge right there.
What?
That's your hedge. Because you're 6+ on both sides.
Yeah, right.
You'll be
exactly.
You'll be +6, possibly +6 on both.
Yeah, right, or close to it.
You'll win 300, possibly, or you'll win 4, or you win 6.
Yeah, that's the hedge.
That's your hedge.
That's the hedge. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in. Well, I already did, but I'm gonna put. For those
oh, you already put that in?
Yeah, I already put it in. I put the hedge in them. As soon as
I
saw it,
I would.
What? Do you have faith in the Bucks? They're a solid team without Giannis.
Where do you stand with the Bucks?
They're a solid team without Giannis.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're trash. You know what I mean? Holiday's coming around and showing form. You know what I mean? Is that a?
Hey, what's Giannis' status?
I think he'll play. I'm not sure if he'll play game 1. If they're down 0-2, he plays in game 3, in my opinion. But if they split, you know, I don't know. That was a bad hyperextension, and the way he plays,
really bad.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like he came out lucky that he didn't have any, you know, structural damage. Right. And like I said, just the way can he change his game? Right? Can he change his game to kind of play? And he can't. Right? So it might be best to wait for him to get ready. But I'm not sure. Looking, I'm looking at the matchups, right? And outside of Booker, right, who's going to cook Middleton, and we'll talk about some future bets in a minute. Like, where's the advantage for the Suns? Outside of a coaching advantage, possibly, and they're just a good team, right? They're just an overall good team. But like I said, the Bucks are good. Like the Bucks are showing that they're really solid, and they can beat you in multiple ways. It's just not about Giannis. When Giannis is not on the floor, they move the ball.
Yeah, but defensively, the pick and roll was killing them.
I
They had
mean,
Trey
I mean,
Young
you
until he
gotta.
got hurt, was just doing whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
you gotta think the Bucks are a better matchup against the Suns than obviously the Clippers was. You look at DeAndre Ayton, I feel like he had a coming out party in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah,
Can he do that against
Lopez.
the big bodies of like it? I don't know. I have to see it. Like I think he's obviously talented, but that's just a lot of weight on you. That's a lot of length and
Yeah,
size on you.
can he
Obviously,
give you 20
if
and
the
20
freak
with Lopez?
with Lopez, and if the freak comes back at 80% in game 2 or game 3, he's still a 7-footer. He's long. I don't know. I just think a lot of those, and then Chris Middleton's still 6'8". You got Drew Holiday's a really good defender. I mean, they like you said, the Bucks are a really good team, and they got people that can score. If Drew Holiday shoots over 45% this series or 50% this series, without I wouldn't say I like the Bucks over the Suns, but a good it could be a good fight there.
Six or
No,
7 games, right?
I think so. I think
Yeah, I think I was tripping. I
yeah, I
think in
think
our
so,
group chat I
man.
was talking about sweep, but now seeing how the Bucks have played,
Yeah,
over these past couple games without Giannis, I think that this should be there should be a little bit more, Bucks support, man. B Diddy, man. Looking at this finals, man. What's your, I think you kind of gave a little hint, but breaking it down to the X's and O's, what's your prediction and what do you think the X factors in this game is in this series?
Um, yeah, I'm all over the Suns here. I
Yeah,
think you
Rangers.
got one thing, you got momentum, right? Number one thing, you got momentum. You got a hot team in Phoenix Suns that's just playing team basketball. They all believe in each other. There's no doubt about the camaraderie in the locker room and it's showing on the basketball court. I think that those are the key differences, right? You're seeing the connection between and Monty Williams, the heart and it's like, all right, fellas, this ain't it. This is the next game, right? I don't see that in the Bucks. I see a little bit more question marks, and then them getting in situations where it's like, oh, we got to fight out of it, right? I think the Suns are just complete. I think DeAndre Ayton has not just shown you last series or the series before that or the series against the Lakers that was his coming out party, right? He gave you 20 and 10 and 20 and 15 against Anthony Davis. So you're telling me that Lopez is not going to all of a sudden just stop him because he's 6, 7 foot? Well, Anthony Davis is also that size and the defensive player of the year. And he was still giving him 20 and 10. So I just think the way the team is played around Chris Paul, the way he knows where everybody needs to be, getting in the open shots, the pick and roll for DeAndre Ayton, and DeAndre Booker can just go out and cook and get freeing up space. It's going to be tough for a Bucks team that's hurt without Giannis. That's going to be 100%. Most likely, he's going to be probably at 60 at best with a hyperextended knee, and he's not going to be as aggressive because I'm sure it's going to be sore. You saw Trey Young yesterday try to give it a go as he should in a closeout game, but ultimately, did he hurt his team? Did Trey ultimately hurt his team the way he played? That could be a possibility, right? So
Yeah,
I don't think
true.
Giannis is going to be nowhere near 100%. I'm sure he's going to play out of his element, so he's not going to be as effective. So I'll be looking at those props and unders, at least for the first game he's back. And I like the Suns in 5. And if Giannis gets a little healthier late in the series, maybe Suns in 6.
Yeah, like I said, I think if they split the first two games, then it wouldn't surprise me if Giannis stays on the sideline for a little bit, even longer. You know, um, and then speaking of that, so I'm looking at these features, right? And obviously, I'm gonna split y'all up about how we look at these because I think Chris, you're looking at more of a MVP type, Bucks type side, and B Diddy, you're more on the Suns. So I'm gonna run down the future for the MVP right now. We got Chris Paul at plus 170. We got Booker at 270. I'm not even gonna say Giannis, but Giannis is in there. I don't think that's even in the picture. But then we got Chris Middleton at plus 650, and a real dark horse here, man. Drew Holiday plus 1,000, 10-1. Out of those four, man, who y'all like for the MVP of the finals? We're giving out we're getting out free future picks, man.
If I go first, Chris, I think if the Bucks actually win, I'll go with the value, and I think Drew Holiday will have a good series.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I think 324 points a game and some assists. So I would go with the value at that plus. Was it 1,000? You
That's
said?
plus 1,000 for him to win MVP.
Yeah, I think the value is there if you feel like the Bucks is going to win, especially with a hurt Giannis. Although Chris Middleton's probably going to give you some really good games. If the Bucks are to win, if the Suns are going to win, there's only going to be one player that's going to get the MVP, and that's going to be Chris. That's going to be Chris Paul.
Really?
This is because that's what they're going to want.
Yeah.
It's going to be Chris Paul. I know
story.
Booker is going to be your guy.
Yeah.
But Chris Paul is why they're there. It's going to be the Tom Brady effect.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be Tom Brady has average Super Bowl. If he gets one touchdown, 2 touchdowns, it's going to go to Tom Brady. Although the running back had 1,000 yards in the game and 5 touchdowns. Right. It's just one of the things that Chris Paul is a face of a league or face of not a face, but a big part of the NBA. Back, players union, a whole bunch of stuff like that. I know that the NBA would like Chris Paul to get that MVP. So I would go Chris Paul, and value I would go if Bucks will win Drew Holiday. My bad, Chris. I'm gonna cut you off.
Go ahead, Renzo. What's up, man? What you thinking?
Nah, you good. I agree with Brent, man. I think if you like the Suns, man, it's got to be CP3. One, from an actual individual player perspective, he's going to be more motivated than anybody. He wants this, any big game, big moment, he's going to have ball in his hand. So I think it's easily Chris Paul on top of what Brent said about just the politics behind it. So I think that's
it's the story.
One there. Not an easy one. Yeah, it's just right. And if not, the Bucks win. I mean, I like Drew Holiday. That feels a little long shot to me. I think there's enough juice on Chris Middleton at 650, where I think Chris Middleton probably has to be more consistent. He has to be more consistent game in and game out for them to win those games. Versus Drew Holiday just needs to have a big game. He just needs to give 25 points like every other game, or really good fourth quarter, like in one of these games to pick up. Where Chris Middleton, if they were to win without the freak at really playing, Chris Middleton's basically just had to be at 25 a game, like all the way through. On top of still having those big quarters along with Drew Holiday, similar to that Nets fourth quarter, like Game 7. Drew Holiday played really well down the stretch, but Chris Middleton ultimately was hitting big shots too. It's not like Drew Holiday's going to carry him by himself. So I would lean towards Chris Middleton because it's so juicy anyway, and it's probably more consistent. So
I like that.
That's where I would go. But Chris Paul seems to be the obvious selection though, especially if you like the Suns.
Let me see if I can make this. Is this parlay? No, I won't parlay. All right. I was gonna say, a parlay. Well, that wouldn't even work anyway. So never mind. I actually like both those plays. I was a little bit more on Booker, from the Suns, in terms of the MVP. I was thinking that yes, I understand the old lieutenant, the old general, and Chris Paul finally gets the ring. The send off story we've seen so many times with aging players that finally get there. It makes sense. But Booker's the future. He's the future of the league. He could possibly very well be the future face of the league as well. So I'm going with I like Booker at plus 270. I think that's really juicy for some of his caliber player. Big players usually show up in these big moments, and we've seen that he's not shying away from the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if you see 2 or even maybe 2 big 40-point games from Booker. And if we see that from Booker, to me, he's a shoo-in. I think Chris Paul would be workman, 15 to 20 and 12 assists, 12 to maybe even more, 15 assists. But those 10 or 12 assists are all going to Booker because he's just cooking. And they don't really have anybody on the Bucks who can defend him at all. So he'll be able to get to his spots. He'll be able to elevate and make those shots, man. So I actually like Booker at plus 270.
I'm not sure.
And I'm going. What'd you say?
I think they got some good defenders. They got defenders they can throw at Booker. I mean, he's obviously elite, but they're no slouches defensively.
No, for sure. No, I'm not discrediting them, but I'm just thinking that I think Booker's going to be able to score at will. He's just going to be able to score at will.
Sure.
And I like that Chris Middleton play.
Okay.
I actually like that Chris Middleton play a lot. That plus 650, like you said, is extra juicy. I was kind of feeling Drew Holiday at first, but when you made the Chris Middleton, argument, like he's going to have to give you at least 28 every game. It's not even a question. He's going to have to average almost close to 30 for them to win, especially if Giannis is out. You know what I mean? So if you like the Bucks, I like the Middleton play as an MVP. And, I think the guys were on Chris Paul, and I'm leaning a little bit more to Book. And getting into the futures and how we break this down and how we're thinking about the game and the game flow, what are some tips for the people out there about how to bet futures, right? Everybody, we're all in this parlay party phase with everybody, and we try to tend to send people away from the parlays. And if you do a parlay, shorten it down to something that's more obtainable, 3 teams, possibly even 4 teams. But once you get past the 4 teams, you got to understand that you're really, really gambling at this point. Even at 14 parlays, you're still gambling. But how do you guys get to these things? Because we've hit a couple of these features before. We hit NFL features, we hit NBA features, we hit NBL futures, we've hit golf futures, we've hit tennis futures. We'll hit. I think Brent, you've hit a couple soccer futures. So when we get to these futures, and we look and see the landscape, and we usually, one of my biggest tips is we take a shot, in the beginning, and then we reassess come mid-season or late once it gets kind of closer, and then we kind of can see a better picture. I think, Brent, you're really good, and you do a lot of division plays when football comes around, and I can't wait to get the NFL once football season comes around when we do a lot of the division picks, for the year. But tell me how, Brent, you go about looking at, your future bets and just a little bit of tips for the people so they know how to bet, in the future. And when we talk here on MoneyPot Podcast, we're not showing you, just giving you a big fish by giving you plays. We're trying to teach you how to get your own big fish because that's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, I think mine is simple, man. There's not a whole lot of number on it. It's just ultimately looking at the team, right? Knowing the sport, knowing what it takes to win a championship in the sport, and then 2, seeing who has the most complete team. That's what I do in soccer. I do that in basketball, football. Is seeing who has a complete team through the ups and downs of a season. And I think those are key situations, like for instance, and they won that championship in NCAA. It was me looking at the complete team, how deep they go on the bench, 8 to 10 deep. What kind of players they have, good ball handling, good inside presence. Most importantly, good defense. Right, defense is really key in winning championships. NFL, same way. Where's the defense look like? How deep are we going? Right, who's the quarterback that's going to is going to be the general of the football team. I just look fully at a team sport, right, and see what the team look like. That's why I like the Suns. They just have key pieces at really key positions that can win you a chip for this year, and that's kind of where I'm looking at. So I'm really looking forward to the NFL this year. That's why I think that move for Tennessee is a huge move, getting Julio Jones. I got to now look a little deeper, see what their defense is looking like, but offensively, they should be able to make a good move and a splash for the NFC for their division, which I got them to win. I put money on them already just for a future bet for Tennessee to win the division over the Colts. And I think the Colts are going to be pretty strong too. But I like that's what I look at. Just to answer your question. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Renzo, man, what are some of I know you're a silent assassin. You're a silent killer, man. I know you got some
sure.
you got some juicy future plays that I've known. I've seen you hit, and I've heard of you, going ape shit on hitting some plays, man. So tell me some of the things that you look at, just some tips about future bets.
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, I check in with Brent. That's first thing first. I do.
That's right, man. I like that,
guy.
man. You gotta go where the money at, man. We gotta. It's enough.
That's true, though.
I know.
Everybody to
fool.
eat.
I don't need to.
Everybody
I don't need to
eats.
be the captain. I don't need to be
Right.
the captain, man.
Just gotta be on the boat.
I know my role.
Just gotta be on the boat for sure. I don't always wear the captain hat, man. I know when to take a step
That's
back
funny.
and pass it off, dog, for sure.
Right. So, but no, seriously though, I found a lot of things that Brent said. Right. It's just understanding like the storylines and the narratives, right? Like similar to what we just talked about with Chris Paul, right? Is understanding the other things that are play outside of what happens on the court, right? You know, the politics behind. He's in the NBA association. If they're going to give it to anybody, if it's neck and neck between Devin Booker and Chris Paul, who's going to get the trophy? It's going to be Chris Paul, right? It's like it's a no-brainer. So I think it's similar with all future bets, man. Just kind of looking at what's happening. Is there any? What's the storylines, right? Has this team never lost at home, right? The Packers for a while never lost a playoff game at home, right? Like it's just all these things that you kind of look at and focus on. So just understanding what's going on, understanding what's at play. Is there any sort of like storylines for a team, for a player? Anything coming down the pipe might affect things. Weather, it's just so many things at play, but it's basically just being analytical about everything, not just what's happening between the lines, but things that's happening outside the lines, man, and just putting it together and looking for value and juice. So, just basically taking a full scope of everything, not just saying, oh, the Suns are playing the Bucks and I think the Suns are better. It's like you got to be a little bit more
Right.
deeper than that.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to get into when we talk here on the show. When y'all come to the show, we're not just talking, hey, the Suns are better because Giannis is out. We're breaking it down. We're looking at the matchup. We're looking at the market. We're looking at the story. We're looking at all these key factors that help us make better plays in terms of gambling, just like you would a stock. I keep referring to that stock market because we've all, if you were in a stock market before, you probably are now. You're probably part of some group. You're probably part of some forum. You're part of something from somebody who's been credible and saying, like, this is how I win. I'm showing you how I win, and this is how I did it, right? And that's a great segue just into the A2D membership, MTM membership plan for $9.99, right? I'm going on the membership team. I'm showing you that I'm consistently winning. I might not win this week, but I might not win next week. But when you look at it as a whole in the month, what am I doing? I'm rising up, right? I'm still ticking up. Might take a tip down, just like the market, but we hit right back up. So you have to look at the longevity of it. Are you successful in this? Can you teach it to somebody, and then can they win? That's when you're really, when you're really a boss or something, man. And that's what we're trying to do, man. So make sure here is the link. Hit up the membership. Clap the link. $9.99, man. Like I said, man, cheaper than what you spend on coffee in a week or soda or whatever you drink, man. $9.99, not weekly, not bi-weekly, a goddamn month, man. Jump on the goddamn money train.
And Nate,
man.
we promise you, you're gonna get that right back.
They already did, bro. They've already paid for three. Yo, they already paid for 3 years of it. That's the crazy thing.
I'm talking about the future ones, the future buyers. You're gonna get it right back.
Oh, for sure.
It's just giving money away, so for sure.
Yeah, exactly. We just paying to keep the lights on, man, and take trips to Cabo. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Not like that. Not like that. Right, man. No. I hear that, man.
Blessed, man. Blessed, good friends.
Yeah, I feel that. Y'all still out there, man. Y'all still watching, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe, man. Share, tell a friend to tell a motherfucking friend. I say it all the time, man. So here's another good question for y'all, man. We're kind of in that dry season, right? We're getting to that dry season when basketball's starting to wound down. Football, we see it coming, right? We have people already talking football already, especially in this city, because we need something, right, to talk about. Because the Phillies, no. Sixers, gone. Hockey, gone. I know I'm watching tennis though, right? Coco's not doing too bad. She's got a big matchup today. I think she's playing already. I'm not sure what she's doing. But she's got a big matchup. I think she lost to this woman in when she had her going out party. Let me bring that up real quick, man. Speaking of that, man, let's while I'm looking for this thing, what y'all think about the what's her name? Who's the woman who just got out for Olympics for weed?
Oh yeah, Shikari.
The track runner.
Shakira?
Yeah. I don't think it's Shakira, but I forget her name. What y'all think about that, man? We'll add another quick question in here, man. We'll add another quick poll question in here. Should marijuana testing be removed from professional sports?
I mean, rules are rules, right? Like. Go ahead, Chris.
No, well, I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, yeah, rules are rules, right? But at the same time, it's like with this whole, just reform thing and just socially woke thing, which I think is very relevant and real. It's like we know weed's legal, right? We know people are making all this money off of weed. In my opinion, on drug offenses, right? People that are in jail for weed should just all right now should just be sent home, right? Like if all I'm in jail for is selling weed and now weed is legal, it doesn't make any sense. Same with the NCAA. If you're now saying players should get paid, it's like, well, you should start giving all these players, like Reggie Bush back his Heisman, all these things that you remove from players for things that we know even then didn't make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same way with weed. Weed was legal and people were going to jail for weed, and we know that the judge that's sentencing him smokes weed. Like it's like you smoke weed, you do coke, but it's like you're sending somebody to jail that you in essence will be buying somehow is getting to you to supply you when you want to party, your friends is at your house or whatever you got going on. So it never made sense. So I think we understand that discretion can be made, right? And there's powers that be that can make things happen. So it's like you talking about a person who's like set a record and you're talking about Olympics. Once there's no guarantee she'll go back to Olympics in 4 years. It's not guaranteed. And it's like over something that we now know it's like just make that call and just say, you know what? We're going to review and we're going to postpone our decision for 30 days and she's going to be able to run until we make our decision. However you got to say it, you should let her run because you're talking about smoking weed here and weed's legal. What we talking about right now? And it ain't.
I actually agree with Brent though. Like it's the Olympics, right? It's not a meet. It's the goddamn Olympics. It's a banned drug on the list. They got to know that. I understand the situation going around it. I think she said she was using it to cope because she lost her mother. Very understandable. I get that. I sympathize with that. Not with the losing mother part, but I've lost a parent recently too. So I get that. You get down in depths. You might be by yourself. What her support system was, et cetera, et cetera. And I'd rather her go to that type of drug than all the other gateway drugs that's possible. But I agree with Brent here, man. It's on the banned substance list. It's on the banned substance list. So you got to make better choices. You just have to make better choices, and it's unfortunate because she looked like a gold medal winner. And then the representation, right? The representation of us. You know what I mean? Like it sucks. It is what it is. It's national news. It's on everywhere. But you got to do better. Unfortunately, you just got to do better.
So Nate, I think she will make the Olympics. I think it's only a 30-day ban. I think she'll be there in time. I think she'll make the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, first off, she has too much momentum behind her.
She'll do the relay.
She'll do the relay. Okay. So she won't do it. Okay. Whatever. So she will be there.
She'll get her redemption then, for sure.
Yeah, I think. But I'm like I said, I'm more of a person. Like sometimes we just got to look in the mirror and say, "Yo, I fucked up," and be able to take that responsibility. And I get what you're saying, Chris. I do. Beyond things that it should be or shouldn't be, until those things are changed, bro. And I don't want to say toe the line. That's not what I'm saying. I think that sounds kind of crazy. But I'm saying there's rules that are in place that you need to follow. If the Olympics is really important to you, you're not doing these things to hinder your situation, no matter what the situation may or may not be. Right? That's not the first time you were smoking weed. And God bless her mother and the situations that she's going through, and I'll be sympathetic to that. But this is not your first time smoking weed. So you've been doing this for a couple times. I'm sure this is the first time you got caught, and it's at the wrong time. But you got to be more responsible. People got to be more responsible. We've been coddling and babling these players, for way too long, and coming up with excuses of why and why it should. And at some time there's rules that just need to follow until things are changed. Right? Once they're changed, how do we rectify that? And that goes back to what you're saying, Chris. Is does Reggie get his Heisenberg? Does the Fab Five get their credit? Does all these people that are in jail for marijuana, do they get out and release? Like now that's the fight that we fight. I'm not fighting a fight for a person that did something wrong, right? Like you didn't follow the directions, and now these are the consequences. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. You know what I mean? And speaking about Reggie Bush and that whole college NCAA thing now, I think we just saw, was it Percy Miller, Masterpiece
Yeah.
son?
How about that?
He just signed a $2 million deal with technology. Renzo, man, before we close out here, man, we'll finish up on this, and then we'll get into if you guys got any bets, for those still with us. And if you're still with us, man, I see a couple people in here. Hit that like button, man. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification. But Renzo, man, talk about the impact right now of and how you feel about college players actually now being able to start to get paid for their likeness. In terms of a monetary, now they can really start building out their kind of brand in college and really start to accept, some of these benefits that I agree that they should be getting. And obviously Miller, crazy how Masterpiece son leading the way, $2 million deal over 4 years with a tech company. Crazy.
Yeah, but that makes sense. Shout out to Master P.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I think it's a great thing, and I think there's some caution I think that needs to happen. First off, obviously it's overdue. It's just I always said if you know it's just long overdue. Obviously, we all know that, right? It didn't make sense. It never made sense. It's bullshit to begin with. So it's awesome that these kids that may not be good enough to make it to the NBA or NFL or wherever the sport may be, or stay there, can have a real chance to impact their lives and their families' lives right away. And that's going to help a lot of families. So that's great and that's awesome. I think that you're still talking about a large group of these kids who themselves may be unsophisticated, right? Coming from wherever they may be coming from, and have parents and caregivers who are also unsophisticated, right? Who are also money hungry, and it's a lot with it too. So I just hope that things can be put in place, or some sort of structures or resources can be put in place to help these kids, right? As they, might sign a $2 million, 100, or get 100,000, right? A kid that might be riding a bench, who their motivation to kind of drive them to get to the NFL was the money, but now they got 100,000 already, or 200,000. It's just a lot of psychological things I think behind it. So I'm just curious to see how that plays out. I hope that things can get in place. I hope that they provide, like learning sessions and resources for these kids. As they're going to have a lot of people start plugging at them and give them these things, and they're going to be signing documents right away without lawyers and representation and all these things. On top of the fact of,
And
now you're gonna
taxes.
have all these kids fooling themselves, and taxes too, right? And
Yeah.
kid ain't thinking about that. I barely think about that right now. And
Yeah.
I'm grown and I ain't trying to pay taxes.
Wild ball.
So it's
Better
like
get on that,
I
brother.
think that on top of the fact that, man, I think you might see a decline. You might see a decline. You might see a decline in performance, right? I think you're just gonna have that many more kids feeling themselves, that many more kids not really willing to listen to the coach, because I might have more money than you, or maybe not more money, but my assistant coach, or I just might be feeling myself. I might not want to work that hard in practice today. I might not want to do my thing. So
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
true.
a lot to it. So, but
Yeah, and
but
I
at
saw.
the end of the day, it was needed though. So
Yeah, it definitely was, because these colleges have been making billions of dollars off these kids for years, and it ain't going to stop. It's just going to keep ticking up. So, now I completely agree with that, man. B Diddy, man, you got any plays for us, man? You got any soccer plays, any tennis future plays, anything on the docket today?
I got nothing, man. I'm out here and just gonna enjoy this time right here while I can. Like I said, my time is off a little bit, so I'm missing a lot of action. I haven't even opened up a Scores app yet, so no, I don't. To answer your question,
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Because you're gonna
unfortunately,
have
but
it
I'll
for
be
the
back. I'll be
membership team.
back this week for
You're gonna
sure.
have it for the membership team. We good, man.
Yep.
Renzo, any little bit of leans you like today? Just one play? Anything you're looking at? You know what I mean? Or you still searching?
I'm still searching. To be honest, I don't want to just throw that out there.
I like that. Yeah, don't give
But
them
I do want to
nothing.
dive
Just
into
give
some.
them.
I do want. Yeah. I ain't dive in. Obviously, it's a big slate on. It's a big slate today, baseball, the 1 o'clock
Yeah,
game. So
yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
about to
dive. I'm
dig
gonna
deep.
dive in. But
Yep, I hear that. I'm the same way
so
too, man. I'm gonna have the plays ready for the membership plays. My man, Willie Vega just hit me with his fantasy plays, so I got to get my bag and look at the plays, man. Before we go, man, obviously we got a membership person. Agree. American sports should be legal to smoke pot, but the Olympics, I disagree. In some countries, they compete a joint is a death penalty. Oh shit! For international competition, just don't smoke for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I
Facts.
could, Jesse. We dug deep into this. The rules are the rules. Understanding the
Right.
rules. This is the Olympics. This is not a meet that you go to that's in the States. It's the goddamn Olympics. Gotta play by the rules. So there's some sympathy in terms of the empathy that she had because of the situation she was going with her mother. But at the same time, like, you got to play by the rules. You got to know this, and your team has to know this. Your team has to tell you around, what's going on, and make sure that you're good. So you don't mess up any type of opportunities in the representation. So shout out to Jesse for jumping on, man. If you still on, man, if y'all still out there, one more time, man. I'm about to get into it now. Membership plays are on $9.99 a month. Our parents was on shows, member only streams. We get your weekly shout outs. And obviously the weekly sports bets that have already paid for 4 years in advance. I'm gonna say that again. We've already paid for 4 years in advance on the plays. And here is, let me get that link. Where is that link? Let me get this link for y'all before we check out, man. Ooh, and there's the link right there. Go ahead and hit that link. Join. I want to thank everybody from jumping on, for Moss Money, Renzo with a Benzo, B Diddy from Cabo. Appreciate y'all for jumping on, man.
Happy
Good morning.
4th.
Have a
Happy
great
4th of
day.
July, man.
Yeah, happy 4th if y'all celebrate, man. We out.
Come on, man. Yo, MoneyPot about to start.
I know, I'm coming, man.
Yeah, grab your notepad, man, for real.
Alright, dog, fuck it, man. Come on.
Yeah, man, they be spitting shit, man.
True.
Yeah.
Side guy, that's boy.
Money pop, money talk. All they do is talk facts. Bird gang. All they do is talk stacks. 360 on the new view. Go run, tell the ad. 40-yard dash time. Moss Money podcast time. S.co headline.